In this video, I rank every single food in Minecraft on a tier list, from spider eyes to golden carrots. This is the Minecraft food tier list. And this tier list has 7 tiers: magnificent, rich, good, bland, lacking, disgusting, and starving child. Also, thank you for 4,000 subscribers. Starting off with apples. A good standard food. Some say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Apples are relatively easy to get, and later on you can craft golden apples to make them even better. Apples are a good tier. Baked potatoes are very similar to apples. Relatively good in saturation, easy to get, good tier. Now beetroot. If you eat these and don't feel ashamed or at least deeply troubled, there is something seriously wrong with you. There's only a small handful of foods worse. These are disgusting. Beetroot soup. Only marginally better than beetroot. You should only ever eat this if you are about to die of starvation, but they do restore 3 times the hunger that beetroots do, so they're a lacking tier. Bread. Bread is a decent food. Bread has never failed anyone. It's easy to get, good saturation. Bread is a rich tier. Now cake. Cake is usually consumed during celebratory occasions. People usually have a good time when eating cake. Cake is good. Carrots. Carrots are a good middle-of-the-road food. They're pretty easy to get, and they can be made into golden carrots, but personally, I think the carrots are just kind of bland. Chorus fruit. Chorus fruit is very useful for getting out of certain situations, such as when you fall into bedrock in your hardcore world and then you lose it because you forgot to get chorus fruit like an idiot. That exact situation definitely never happened to me. But chorus fruit isn't really that good or reliable as a food, and this kind of is a food tier list, so lacking tier. Cooked chicken. Chickens are very easy to farm, and they can be a good food source throughout the entire game. They also look like they have pretty rich flavor, so they're going in the rich tier. Now cooked cod. If you're into fishing, this can be a decent food. It restores a good amount of hunger, so I think it's a good tier. Cooked mutton. Very similar to cooked chicken, but there's one major difference. It's spelled differently. But in my opinion, cooked meat in Minecraft just tastes amazing, and it could be your food source for the entire game. Rich tier. Pork chops. I have very few words to describe this immaculate piece of meat. It restores a ton of hunger points, it's easy to get, and it can last forever. This is the first magnificent tier. Cooked rabbit. This is just like mutton, but it's harder to get. You have to chase down rabbits, and they are one of the most annoying mobs to hunt. But I would still say it's a good tier. Cookies. Everyone likes cookies. However, if you feed them to parrots, they kinda become not alive. And they aren't the most filling food, so they're a bland tier. Enchanted golden apples. I mean, do I even have to say it? They can be kinda difficult to find, but trust me, it's worth it. They basically give you superpowers for a few minutes. And if you're losing a PvP fight against your friend and you bet a lot of money that you would win, it's not exactly going to plan. Eating one of these can turn the whole fight around. This is a strong, magnificent tier. Now blueberries. They're easy to find if you can manage to find a lush cave. However, they don't give you a ton of hunger and there are better options out there, so I think this is a lacking tier. Golden apples. The little brother to enchanted golden apples. It's basically the same thing, but with less effects. However, you can still craft golden apples with golden apples, so this is also a magnificent tier. Sticking with the golden theme, we have golden carrots. Golden carrots are a lot of people's favorite food to consume throughout the entire game, me included. They give you some of the highest saturation in the whole game. They're relatively easy to get from villagers, and they restore a decent amount of hunger points. Another magnificent tier. Honey bottles. This can be an okay food if you have a bee farm. They can also be crafted into honey blocks, which can be very useful. Fun fact, honey bottles can also clear poison. And they aren't the best food, but they're also not the worst food, so I'm going to put them in the bland tier. Melon slices. Yes, I know they're very easy to get. Yes, they're easy to farm, but they restore 1 hunger meat stick thing. However, they can be useful if you're wandering around and about to die, but that's the only case you should ever eat them. Lacking tier. Milk. Milk doesn't restore hunger. However, it can cure any potion effect, good or bad. This can be very useful when fighting the Wither or exploring an ocean monument. Bland tier. Cooked salmon. This is basically just cooked cod. It restores half a hunger point more, but it's pretty much the same thing. Good tier. Raw salmon. What are you doing if you eat this? How starving are you? This is just disgusting. Actually better than beetroot, but still disgusting. Mushroom stew. This food is very easily renewable. Just get a couple of bowls and some mushrooms and you're good to go. However, there are a lot of better options out there. Bland tier. I just realized that there's 2 baked potatoes in this. I have no idea why. I don't know who let that baked potato in. Why is there a baked potato there? I'll give this baked potato to the starving children. Poisonous potatoes. Why? Just why? This will give you poison. Just eat the raw salmon if you have to. This is a starving child tier. Normal potatoes. This food still sucks, but at least it's better than poisonous potatoes. Cooking them isn't even that hard, and raw potatoes barely give you any hunger points, but at least it's something. Disgusting tier. Pufferfish. Okay, who in their right mind is eating this? Unless you're trying to get the How Do We Get Here achievement, please don't eat it. It gives you nausea and poison. Starving child tier. Pumpkin pie. Finally something decent. It restores a very good amount of hunger, but it can be slightly difficult to make. But I still think that it's a strong good tier. Rabbit stew. What did you do to that poor rabbit? Thumper was just thumping along his way, being happy, and then you made him into a stew. How could you? Anyways, rabbit stew is kinda hard to make because rabbits are just the worst to hunt. Lacking tier. Raw beef. Why would you eat this? Unless it's your first time playing Minecraft and you don't know how to make a furnace, and you just found a cow and you want to survive the first night, there's no point. Disgusting tier. Raw chicken. This is even worse than raw beef. It has a 30% chance to give you hunger. It makes negative hunger progress. You get hungrier when you eat it. Just don't eat it. Starving child tier. Raw cod. This fish gives you almost no saturation. You eat it, walk 5 blocks, you're hungry again. This does not deserve to be eaten. Disgusting tier. Raw mutton. Basically the same thing, just slightly better, but still. Just like real life, you need to cook your meat before you eat it. Meat is very bad if it's not properly cooked. Raw meat gives you next to no saturation. Also disgusting tier. Raw pork chops. Better than raw mutton, but not by much. Still almost no saturation. Disgusting tier. Raw rabbit. Okay, what happened? So you found a rabbit, chased down the rabbit, proceeded to hunt the rabbit, got the meat from said rabbit, and now you don't even cook it. There's something seriously wrong with you if you intentionally eat raw rabbit. You have the patience to hunt the rabbits, but you can't make a furnace. You have no excuse. Disgusting tier. Rotten flesh. This is worse than raw chicken. This is the rotting flesh of zombies. Technically cannibalism. It also gives you hunger. So again, you make backwards progress. It's like drinking salt water when you're dying of thirst. Starving child tier. Spider eyes. Again, why do you eat this? It literally gives you poison. It's trading most of your health for a slight hunger boost. Starving child tier. Now moving on to the polar opposite. Steak. Steak is the polar opposite of spider eyes. In my opinion, one of the best foods in all of Minecraft. Same with real life. Steak is easy to get. Just make a pan with a bunch of cows, get some wheat, couple minutes later, tons of food. Steak is a magnificent tier. Suspicious stew. Suspicious stew is kinda sus. It can give you a bunch of random effects, but usually it's not that good. It does restore 3 hunger points, but you could get poisoned or starve from it. Lacking tier. Sweet berries. They could be good if you spawn in a spruce forest and you need some food to survive the night, but you go through them so quickly. You need stacks if you want to survive the day. They give you almost no saturation, but better than raw food. Lacking tier. Tropical fish. Why? What did you do to Nemo? They restore half a hunger point. Half a hunger point. And they look so much better alive in a fish tank. Eat any other food. Please. Starving child tier. And finally, dried kelp. Again, restores half a hunger point. You can eat it very quickly, but it's not worth it. Dried kelp is only good for dried kelp blocks in building and furnace XP banks. Disgusting tier. Alright, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed even a little bit, you legally have to leave a like and subscribe. Bye.